Is there such a thing as breaking in the nib or the pen, or is that more of a myth? That's a really good question, really good. And the answer is kind of yes and no, right? So in a way, yeah, you can break in a nib, right? So there is something real to that. I've been using fountain pens for long enough now where I have, just through my own usage of them, broken in some nibs. You know, I talk about my Pilot Custom 74 a lot. Love that pen. I've used it extensively over the years, and I just love the way the pen feels. And it definitely writes a little bit different now than a brand new Custom 74 that comes out of the box. Mainly because I have kind of a heavy hand. That nib is 14 karat, and over time I've kind of bent it a little bit and broken it in. It's got a nice softness to it, and it writes a little bit wetter now because I've used it so much. Not to the point where it's caused any kind of problem, whatever. It's just, you know, over time, I have written with it with a heavier hand, and now I don't write with it as a heavy a hand because it writes wetter as I like it. So part of it is breaking in the pen, but I think it's way like overemphasized how much these pens might actually break in, or these nibs. There are definitely like some people out there that I've read and heard that tout like you don't ever want to hand anyone else a pen and even have them sign their name with it because it's so personal to you that it writes to, you know, it conforms to the specific handwriting style that you have, and if anybody else writes with it, even for their signature, it's going to ruin it and all this stuff. And, you know, I think that there is a concept to that is getting misconstrued there. If you are handing your pen to somebody that has no idea how to write with a fountain pen, and they do crazy stuff with it and press way too hard and have the angle way off and they just like bend that nib all to heck, yeah, they can ruin the pen. Like that's a very real thing that can happen. So you never want to just hand your favorite pen over to somebody, not giving them any instruction whatsoever, and just let them do whatever they want. So like for me, half the time when I hand somebody a pen for the first time, they don't even know what to do with it. They like flip it upside down and they're trying to write the nib upside down. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Why don't you just go ahead and flip that thing over and write with it, you know, that way? And I'm very kind in that way, but there's honestly just not that many people, just strangers and stuff that I meet that are that familiar with how to actually use a fountain pen. So yeah, there's definitely some legitimacy to like, don't just hand your pen over to anybody with no instruction whatsoever. But the idea that anybody writing with your pen will mess it up in, you know, this much of a length of writing is just not true. I mean, think about it. These pens have metal nibs, stainless steel or gold, that will withstand years and years of writing while holding up. How is it conforming that quickly to your writing style, and then it could be undone in that quickly by someone else, but still hold up for years and years? You know what I mean? Like it's the nibs are not that sensitive. I honestly believe that we conform to our pens as much as they conform to our handwriting. So yeah, like over time, a nib is going to like get more flexible and stuff just as it's been used. Maybe flexible is the wrong word. It's going to get a little bit softer. It's going to, you know, bend a little bit as you're writing with it with a heavy hand a long period of time. The tipping on the nib itself may get a little bit smoother just because the friction of writing on the paper over an extended period of time will smooth out the nib just through friction. But it's not going to happen all that quickly. So typically with pens like the Lamy 2000, for example, I've got that pen here. That is a perfect example because this pen has got kind of a fine sweet spot on it. And some people just cannot get the hang of this thing. And it frustrates a lot of people because a lot of people rant and rave about this pen. Maybe not rant and rave. A lot of people rave about the pen. Well, I guess people are ranting. But anyway, a lot of people rave about this pen, and then some people get it with high expectations, and they just cannot get the hang of writing with this pen, and they send it back, and they just don't want anything to do with it. Okay, that's fair. But definitely a pen like this, it is going to write how it writes, and you have to figure out how to hold it and how to do it in the right way. And then once you adapt to the pen, it's going to write great for you. But that pen is not going to adapt to you nearly as quickly as you will adapt to it. So, that said, I've been saying that a lot today, that said. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question, Peter.